Many will recognize you because, Richard, you've joined on another company that you're also leading, U.com. You also happen to be busy in venture capital. So talk to us about Recursive. What is it that you felt needed to be fixed?
So we want to build recursive, self-improving superintelligence that automates knowledge discovery. You know, AI now is code and can code. And so you can have a closed loop where you replace human ingenuity and trying to come up with ideas, implement those ideas, and validate those ideas. And you can actually allow AI to do that on itself.
The reason you're able to enter out of stealth with a $4 billion market capitalization is because you're a pretty well-known, famed AI researcher, Richard. But there are many, well, shall we say, there are many very ambitious labs out there who also want to reach superintelligence. Why aren't they doing it right? What is it that you feel Recursive is going to gain an edge of rather than helping another lab already do what they're doing?
Yeah, we collected combined an incredible team of co-founders, folks from Google DeepMind, from OpenAI, from Salesforce Research, and many other incredible labs, Meta, and so on. We are focused on open-endedness and really have the entire company try to allow AI to build the next better version of AI. And whenever in AI research we replace manual systems with learned systems, we see a massive improvement. And then on top of that, we can sit now on top of this whole new infrastructure where we built the company from the ground up by empowering AI to do its own experimentation, whereas most of the other labs in the past basically started before that was possible.
Okay, so you've got this focus from the very birth of the business, but you also need an awful lot of money, as we can see that you're raising, for compute to take on some of the juggernauts. How much is it a costly business? How are you thinking of reframing the demand for GPUs and the like?
You're absolutely right. A big new scaling law we're trying to prove is that the more compute results in more inventions, more improvements. And so compute is one of the largest costs for us, and that's why we're really excited to have the folks like Nvidia and AMD be part of this round.
Just the open-ended nature of driving endless innovation. You say you want to do that safely. What are the worries and the limits of it not being done safely?
You're absolutely right. Safety is a huge concern. That's why we have some of our co-founders who've done research in rainbow teaming, for instance, where AI improves the safety of large language models, like Tim Rockteschel and his collaborators worked on. We take safety very seriously, and we believe, though, that this is the best and fastest way to superintelligence, which will then allow humanity to flourish much, much more by building ultimately a eureka machine, one that allows us to invent everything else thereafter.
How are you going to divide your time, Richard? You're CEO of U.com, and you're also at AIX, the venture firm that's just lost its co-founder. So how do you divvy this all up?
I work all the time and have incredible teams around me that enable this.
Of AI agents?
Also AI agents, yeah, but also some really incredible humans.
Okay, incredible humans cost a lot of money. So are they incentivized by equity, by the sheer ambition of the task, or how are you going to be hiring yet further talent? Because they're also getting to a significant expense line compared to GPUs.
That's absolutely right, yeah. I think as a founder these days, you want to think more about the overall potential of the pie rather than your slice and amount of pie that you have, as in we do share equity with our employees and everyone, and I think that encourages and excites everyone. I think in general, the more you have ownership of what you're creating in this AI world, the more you love AI, because then you just care about the outputs. And so I think it's important to share that equity and ultimately grow something amazing together.